G'day guys, Daniel from Insert1p here, and today I'm taking another look at Kerbal Space Program. This time we're having a look at patch 1.0. It's a full release game now, no longer in beta, and the amount of content and the amount of work that they've put into this update is insane. You'll see one of the major changes right here. They've added female Kerbals, which is really nice. This particular Kerbal, her name is Valentina, after the first woman astronaut in space, who was actually a cosmonaut. So I thought that's pretty cool. The physics engine's changed a bit as well. I've been playing a career here and here. That's a cheat career that I've been playing. Just so we can have a look at a few things later on. I'm not going to show you the career, but I am going to show you changes to the physics engine to begin with. Not a lot's changed here at the KSC, but there is one exception. Right here, warp to next morning. Click that and it will do the warp for you. Any minute, there we go. So no more having to do nighttime launches when you don't want to. Let's go into the spaceplane hangar. And I'm just going to use a stock plane. As you can see here now, each of the saved planes has a little thumbnail, so you can have a look what's new, or so you can have a look at what the plane looks like or what the vehicle looks like. Let's have a look at the stock Ares 3A, and you'll see very quickly, launch that, the extent of the changes to the physics engine. Right, so aerodynamics are a big part of this update because they've been introduced, really. Let's take off. So all of this is pretty much normal. But as you can see, I'm picking up speed a lot easier. And wait for it. Let's do a hard turn now. I'm in a banked turn, and it's essentially turning on its own, only with little assistance from myself. But if you watch here, 180-degree bank, pull back. Look at the G-forces on that. My goodness. And I'm not sure if you can hear that rumble, but yeah, that's the stress. The stress being put on the fuselage. What I might do is straighten up, getting a bit low there. Oh shit! Okay. Alright, pick some speed up. I'll shut the engine down, and you'll be able to hear that. Shut down. There it is. Almost crunching. Better activate that again. Other than that, what else can I show you while we're in this view? I could probably show you. Actually, I know what I'll show you. The re-entry effects have been added upon, and there is now damage from heat or high speed. So just over 300 meters per second is Mach 1, so we'll get to that. And then past that, I should start taking... Oh, is it going to do it? Maybe this isn't the best plane for it. But you can see there the wind resistance that I'm picking up. It's actually causing the SAS to struggle a bit. If I pull back now, hard on the stick, I should break apart. Let's see. No, not quite there. That's right. But we managed to cut 200 meters per second off our speed. So let's leave that there. And let's jump into one of the supersonic jets. Raven Spear 1 from memory. Yeah, okay. let's do that. Okay, SAS on, full throttle. Yeah, so pretty standard this plane. Do some, oh shit. Okay. I don't think this thing is designed for high speed takeoff, but that's fine. We'll level out and go to Mach 1, which should be about now. So let's do Mach 1, and it's about 400 meters per second if we can get that fast. No, I don't think we're going to be able to do it. Maybe. As long as it keeps climbing steady. Come on, do it. We'll speed up time. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Why is it slowing down? That doesn't make any sense. No, wait, there it goes. So maybe that speed. Okay. Maybe this one was a bad idea. Maybe not. We're picking up speed. Okay, we're approaching Mach 2, and look at the wind shear on this thing. Mach 2 will be about 600 meters per second, just over 600 meters per second, and it should start turning red soon. Okay, we've hit Mach 2. So we're now going 2 times the speed of sound in this thing. And now it's starting to heat up. As we approach Mach 3. Okay. So, while we're doing this, F12 now brings up aerodynamic forces overlay. So blue lines are lift, yellow lines are also lift, and red lines are drag. Turn that off. Heat damage, F11, and F10 turns temperature gauges on and off, and you should see the temperature gauges showing up momentarily as we pass through Mach 9. Sorry, Mach 3. Mach 9, Jesus. Alright. So, the air intakes are taking damage from the heat, and so is my cockpit. And any minute now, shit's gonna blow up. There it goes. We've lost our air intakes. We now have no air intakes. We're screwed, basically. But yeah, that's aerodynamic forces in a nutshell. Let's have a look and see what else we've got. Okay, one more thing real quick before we get out of the spaceplane hangar and start having a look around elsewhere. The MK3 parts have been overhauled once again. Specifically, the MK3... Oh, did I say MK3 or MK1? MK3. MK3 parts have been overhauled again, specifically the cockpit. The cockpit now has an interior, and we'll jump in there and have a look in a sec. MK3 big wings have been added, and there is also a smaller variation. Aero braking has been introduced, so these are the radial mounted air brakes. And parts can be deployed similar to the way spoilers work on airliners and airplanes. So I think I've got these bound to the brake key, the B key. So when I hit the B key, these will deploy. When I hit it again, they will lie down again. What else? So new wing and so new tail and rear wing pieces have been added. And of course, landing gear. These are the medium landing gear, And where is the large landing gear? And that's the large landing gear. They don't have lights on them. That's my only concern. Well, not really a concern. My only problem or issue. They have lights animated, but you can't turn them on. I don't understand. But that's fine. We'll jump into this and have a look at the cockpit, which looks a little bit like this. And you can see it's a 4-seater. So 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and there's Valentina. Let's full throttle. This thing flies. Last time I did a video with MK3 parts, I was saying that I haven't actually tried doing anything or haven't had any success with the MK3 parts, but hey, check this out. I made an MK3 plane, dude. And it works. So this is the new physics and aerodynamics engine at work. Previously, depending on where you would place, if I was to place these wings lower than the center of the fuselage and put propulsion units underneath the wings, it would cause the center of mass and the center of thrust to go all wacko, and pretty much I'd have this sort of situation where I wouldn't be able to fly. But as you can see here, I'm just pulling back, pushing forward, and it's really, really steady. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this design. Mainly because I've never got one working before. I think the roll's a bit too much. I might take one of those or disable one of those. Let's see. So pressing B enables brakes, and the speed starts dropping. Put those away. And what were the spoilers? Pressing. I've got it bound to the RCS key because this thing doesn't use RCS. But yeah, other than that, these fuel tanks here are designed to look like jet engines on airplanes, which I think they're a nice addition too. So very, very pleased with this. Very pleased. Okay, let's take a look at some of the parts that are new. This is not a new part. I'm just using this one because it's a nice round part. Alright, going from top to bottom, we have holding tanks, which hold ore. Yep, you can now mine stuff. You can mine asteroids, you can mine planets, like so. We'll have a look at that a bit later. Deploy. Come on. And start drilling. The drill will deposit the ore into the holding tank for collection and transportation, or you could use it to convert to fuel. So this is a fuel conversion thing. It's that's a technical name, ISRU converter. Basically, you can choose to convert ore into any of the game's resources. So whether that be monopropellant or even liquid fuel, oxidizer, not solid fuel, which makes sense. You don't. I mean, who's gonna take solid fuel to as a? You know what? I'm not gonna finish that sentence because every day I get more and more surprised by what people are doing with this game. It's really, really cool stuff. So that's that. Oh, here we go. This is the xenon canister, which previously you could only get this small little one. They've added a larger one, so for larger probes, which is again pretty cool. And then there's a smaller, what's that, 2.5? I don't know what the measurements are. Put it this way, there's the big parts, not the really big, the big parts, and that's the normal or small size. Let's call it medium sized. What else can we see here? That's all old stuff. That's all old stuff. Now the only new engine that I've seen is the Flea engine, which is the very first solid fuel booster that you have available in career mode. It's literally from what I've seen, only useful for when you're first starting career mode. There is no other scenario in which you would need to use these that I've come across. Other than that, the Rapier engine has received an overhaul and redesign. It's now more efficient for air breathers, especially with the new physics engine. Nose cone, which is not a new part, but it's been moved into the command and control parts menu. It's essentially an advanced SAS for in the shape of a nose cone. So there's nothing new in structural. It's all old stuff, same old, same old. The next big thing that I really want to look at is the aerodynamics tab, because obviously with the new aerodynamics system coming in, there are a bunch of parts that needed to be reworked, a bunch of parts that have been added, and fairings have been made stock standard. So let's have a look at the fairings. Oh, I've got it the wrong way. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so fairings, it snaps, so you can have it like this, or you can have it out and then have it come down and then go back in and then have it come down. So you basically control the size of the fairings, which is a really cool addition. It can make for some really funky looking fairing designs which aren't really practical. Can take a little bit of getting used to. I actually haven't used the fairings. I haven't needed to use the fairings yet. So yeah, just back, get rid of that shit. Yeah, so have a look at the fairings. They're pretty cool. That's just one shape. That's the large shape. There's a 3.75 meter, which is the really big one. Hang on, where is it? Yeah, that's the really big one. Oh, would you look at that? Yeah, so you put it together and you can see inside. Isn't that cool? I like that. Hey, some of this stuff I'm actually seeing for the first time, so forgive me if I do sound a bit overly enthusiastic. Heat shields, absolute must now. Small, medium, and large. So let's get the large one. No, not the large one. Medium one. Yeah, and the resource for this is ablator. I don't know how to pronounce that. Let's just call it ablator. Ablator. I think ablator sounds right. And that's basically will burn off as you go through re-entry. And then we have our air intakes. So there's this one here, which is reworked to the... I wonder if they actually have still these ones. Yeah, they do. So it's basically a bigger version of these. Which then attaches to a 2.5 meter part, or is, yeah, I think it's 2.5. That's 2.5, right? 2.5 to... No, it's not. 1.25. Okay. My bad. Engine pre-cooler. Engine pre-cooler, which is essentially a fancy name for air intake. That's pretty much what it is. It's an air intake, and it holds some liquid fuel. We've already seen these. These are what I was using on that MK3 plane before. Again, that's an air intake as well. Shot cone hasn't changed. There's a circular intake, which we also saw before. And last but not least, the Delta wings have, in fact, Oh, there's new delta wings that have been put into the game. So these ones are a lot thicker. I've not found any practical use for them yet, but I still think they look badass. Right, so we've already had a little bit of a look at the utility parts, specifically the ore converter. But I want to show you these fuel cell arrays. What these fuel cell arrays do is basically convert rocket fuel, so liquid fuel, into electricity. So it'd be a good idea to have, you know, if you're going on a long mission, a good idea to have at least one of these somewhere on your probe, on your craft, or whatever it is that you're sending, wherever it is that you're sending it. It'd be a good idea to have just one of those and just have it turned off, just as a backup power source. We've already seen the drill. Landing gear. This is the first landing gear that you'll get in career mode, if it will let me place. So you're basically sort of similar to what you would find on a light aircraft like a Cessna, for example. And then that's the steering piece for it. They're pretty cool. Smaller radial parachutes, so there are more parachutes that have been added. And these ones, as you can see, are the smaller version of the normal radial mounted parachutes. Again, haven't had a chance to use them yet, but I'm sure I'll find a practical use for them eventually. And here we have the service bay. So the service bay is basically there to protect your equipment. So you could load up things like, let's pack this one full while we're here. We'll put, what can we put? So we'll put a battery on the roof. We'll put a, actually, yeah, let's do that. Okay. Have we gone through everything in here? Yes, we have. So looking at the service bay, you're gonna find you can end up putting things like your science collecting equipment in there. Let's put you here. We'll put you up on the side. Show me. Here we go. Yep. Up like that. And up. There we go. Okay. So the idea with these service bays is that you're going to put your science collecting equipment in them, because when you go for re-entry on any kind of planet, let's get rid of that, we'll put this in here instead. Yeah, so when you go for re-entry, obviously you're going to be receiving damage, or your craft is going to receive damage. So in this case, the idea is to fill this up with as much crap as you can to gather science. Put that there. Thermometer there. Gravity measurement there. What am I missing? Ah, seismometer, whatever it is. Seismic accelerometer. And that's not going to fit, is it? Nah, that's right. Okay, so you cram this shit in there. Close the bay. So all that stuff's in there. It's now protected from re-entry effects. Obviously, you're going to put your wrong one. You're going to put your heat shield underneath, and now this whole craft is technically protected from re-entry effects. And that's just can be opened and closed as you see fit. You can even bind it to keys if you wanted to. Going back into the science tab, you can ignore these because they're for mods. These are some equipment that I've not actually had the chance to work with yet, but I have seen, and I think these visuals are crazy. So this particular antenna is used to scout out what resources are available on any particular celestial body. So you could go to Mun, you can have one of these attached to your craft, you activate it, it will tell you what resources are available for mining on Mun, and then you will transmit that just with a normal antenna back to your space center. This one is for scanning surface for the surface, so it's going to do similar, I believe. Yeah, so this one specifically only scans for ore. This one, again, it's for scanning ore, but I believe... Yep, that's fine. We'll leave it at that. And last but not least, this one, which we attached inside our cargo, our bay before, is for scanning atmosphere. So a bunch of new science collecting apparatus have been added. And yeah, let's head out to an asteroid which I managed to rendezvous with earlier and see some of this stuff in action. Okay, what we have here is an asteroid which I managed to rendezvous with, but unfortunately for me, I've managed to run out of monopropellant, which is what was fueling my rocket. So, what we need to do, we'll deploy our drills. We'll come over this side in the light. Yep, so we've deployed our drills, and now we're going to start harvesting the asteroid. Oh, no impact surface. Okay, so that one's not going to work. That's fine, but this one's working. I'll make sure we've got enough power because those drills use up a lot of power. We should have plenty. We've got the large solar panels. And you can see that the ore tank is filling up slowly. So we'll let that fill up. And clicking on the asteroid will show us that we are now mining its resources. Very slowly, but still. And it's going to continue to get lighter and lighter and lighter. So, let's time warp a bit, and we'll wait till our fuel tank has filled up a bit. Now we're just going to slow things back down a bit, because I just had an idea while we're waiting. I'm going to stop this for a second, and I'm going to free pivot this. We'll retract that, and I'm going to see if I can get myself into a position where we can utilize this drill here. So let's how are we going to do this? Hang on. No, not that way. Yeah, this way. Let's see if that works. Deploy. Deploy. In you go. In you go. Ah, still no impact surface, but that one's alright. How is that not making any impact? Maybe I should change the camera orientation. Let's try this way. Oh, as if that's not making any contact. But that one is. Oh. Oh well. That's fine. Never mind. We'll just leave it at that. And back to time warp. So I think we've got enough to basically try to do some matter conversion here. So right clicking on the converter will give us our 4 different options. So I can change it to liquid fuel and oxidizer, monoprop fuel, liquid fuel only, or oxidizer only. So I'm going to refill the monopropellant tanks before we go and refill the fuel tanks, which is the reason why we're here. Let's go ahead and do monoprop. So what we're having here, we are mining at the same speed at which the fuel is, or the ore is being converted, and you can see it there. You can see it working. And you can see our monopropellant tanks are slowly filling up. So the practical use for something like this would be if you're planning a return trip to a distant planet. Obviously return voyages aren't always an option for most planets, but with something like this you could essentially create a mining platform or several mining platforms, have them all dump into the same tank or you know, into individual tanks, trying to land your craft on top of it and refuel, which I may actually look into doing. But that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed the video. Please do check the game out if you haven't already. Now is the best time. The community is going absolutely mental with mods and with help, and it's a great community, it's a great game, and it looks like it'll be around for a while. So do check it out. Until next time, I'm Daniel from Insert Coin 1P. See you later.